Guys, I am back from another video, and today we're talking about a brand new series called What If Deku was reincarnated into Genshin Impact. And I'm also really sorry about, not making videos last time because I'm gonna say it outright. Currently currently tomorrow I'm gonna go back to school, and thankfully it's going to be about 7 to 12 a.m. So thankfully I won't be, hindered in my, you know, in my recording schedule. So thankfully that's going to be, not be hindered. But the hindered part is mostly about my studies. So yeah, my schedule is definitely going to be a bit different, but still I'm going to be cranking out videos as usual, but still. Yeah, I'm still a bit worried about school, so don't worry about it, guys. Anyway, so let's talk about the actual what if. So yeah, so let's talk about this brand new story, shall we, ladies and gents? So we go to a city, in this case, the city of Japan, where currently there's a large-scale battle between two different people. One with blonde hair and red eyes, wearing almost like a soldier type-ish outfit with two gauntlets that resemble grenades, as he would scream out, "Deku, why did you do this?" As this person by the name of Deku, with green hair and wearing some sort of skull mask and wearing a fine tailored suit, he would say, "Oh, I'm doing just fine, for God's sake," as he would basically bring out a large-scale blast of lightning. This lightning was colored red, and it destroys the ground instantly where it's shot. As Bakugo would say this, "Why? I thought you wanted to become a hero, not a..." As he would say this, "Shut up, shut up, shut up! I'm tired of being a hero. I'm tired of being weak. I'm tired of being called a damn quirkless brat. And now, because I was given this power to take away quirks like yours, Bakugo, I can finally get my revenge on you." After saying this, a large-scale explosion would appear right in front of Bakugo, as Bakugo would basically dodge out of the way. Bakugo would say this, "Deku, why? Just why?" As he would say this, "You're the one who turned me into this!" As when Izuku, aka Deku, said that, Izuku would start to create something out of nowhere. A large tentacle which resembled a tentacle of a octopus, but with several lines running across it, almost similar to tattoos, as it would slam onto the Tokyo Tower, as it crashes down, causing several civilians to run away in fear. As Izuku would say this, "Nobody's gonna stop me. Nobody. And I will bring more. And I will..." As Izuku starts clenching his face, saying, "No, I can't lose. I must make my dream come true. I won't let anybody..." But before he can say anything else, he would get hit right in the back by something. Izuku would look at the back, look behind them and see a few people. One was a boy with white and half, red hair. The other seems to be a girl with, brownish hair and seems to be wearing some sort of space outfit. Another was a person with engines for legs and seems to have, like a full body armor. Basically has full body armor all over him. As one of them would say this, "Bakugo, we got some help!" As Bakugo would say this, "Good." As Izuku would say this, You! As after saying this, several electricity blasts would start, appearing out of nowhere and explode a large, pillar of ice that was created by the white and red-haired boy. After doing that, he would say, "Todoroki!" As Todoroki, this person with the red and white hair, would see the man, specifically the man with the, the full body armor, would say, "Do it!" As he would say, "Right." As he would create a large blast of fire across the body of the man, burning a part of his face. As he would say this, "Why you?" And this person seems to have green eyes after getting that explosion to the face. Sorry about that. As he would say, "You annoy me." After saying this, a large spear made of lightning would appear right in his hands and he would scream out, "You will die!" After screaming that out, he would throw the spear of lightning into the ground, causing a large explosion. But after the explosion was done, there was a large smoke cloud, as Izuku would say, pathetic. As he would start coming down from the, from the large, explosion, he would fall to the ground going into the crater. As he would say, I knew it. Nothing more than... But before he can say anything else, he was slammed into the ground by something. After getting slammed into the ground, he would see a woman with a large cape and seems to have, a really large breast size to say the least. She also seems to have darkish hair and darkish eyes. As she would say, "I won't let you hurt anybody anymore." As Izuku would say, "Yeah." But before he can do anything else, he would get electrocuted right in the face by something. And that person was a blonde-haired boy with a black electric streak across his hair. As he would say, before you can say anything else, the name's Kaminari. And I'm the brand new hero here. The name's Voltage! As after he does that, a little pose, he would basically start shooting out more electricity at him. But he would still stand his ground, as he would say, "I will not lose!" But, unfortunately, he is going to lose. As Bakugo would charge over there, charging up a blast. More specifically, his arm would start glowing red and pinkish colors all across his forearm, almost similar to veins. Wait for a second. As these large streaks of lightning would basically appear around him, god damn it. But when he did smash into Izuku's face, Izuku would be... God dang it! Wait for a second. Sorry about that, I had to fix that. So, after getting pummeled right in the face by Bakugo, Izuku would be flying all the way towards, the Tokyo Tower, but that was still falling. After getting slammed into a little, street sign, Izuku would basically fall down, as he would say, "Why, you little... you won't get away with..." As when he was about to say something else, he would look up and see the Tokyo Tower slam into him. So, after the large, impact from the Tokyo Tower slamming into the ground, all of the heroes would be there in awe. They won. They defeated All for One Neo, or should I say Izuku Midoriya. One of them, specifically Bakugo, would start walking up to the tower, as he would look at the now stuck Izuku. Not really stuck, but more like impaled. Because of one of the explosions that was created by Izuku would basically, create several shards of, debris. And one of these, shards of debris would basically stab into his chest, his shoulder, and finally, his thigh. He was bleeding out. As Izuku would say, "I guess you won. Like always." Izuku would start to cry. His tears would basically cover his face. A shadow was basically covering his eyes as well. As Bakugo would say this, "Izuku. As Izuku would say this, no, it's fine. You always win. The heroes always win. I always wanted to become a hero, Kachan. But you always told me that I should just become a worthless piece of shit. Just because I was quirkless. But ever since I got this quirk from Master All for One, and I was plotting to defeat you, so I can finally get the taste of victory. But now, it's all ruined." As Bakugo would just see that Izuku is basically angry, to the point that he looks like he's about to burst into tears. As Bakugo would say this, Izuku would say this, I don't have any time to talk about anything right now. I'm about to die." Bakugo, If I die, say this to Mom. As Bakugo would lean closer, as he would say, "What is it?" As he would say this, "I'm sorry." After saying this, he would grab a piece of debris and stab it into his chest once again, as Bakugo would say, "Izuku, no!" As Izuku would say this, "No, it's fine. After all, I am the villain. Why not let the heroes have all the glory then?" After saying this, he would use the last of his power to stab more of this debris into his chest, killing him once and for all. Everyone was there, including some of Bakugo's friends. They were crying after hearing this. They didn't know that Bakugo actually did this. One of them would come up to him, and this person would be this girl, the one with the brown hair. She would say, "So is it true, Bakugo?" As Bakugo would say this, "Yeah, it is true. I promise, Izuku, I'll do better. I promise that even the quirkless children just like you, even quirkless just like you, will no longer have to suffer. I promise that." So, we go back to Izuku. Izuku is currently in the void, currently alone. He doesn't know what's happened to him, but it feels nice. It feels calming. He would feel like something is pulling him closer to something bright, somewhere different. And after a while, he would wake up. He was in some sort of weird-looking carriage, or at least that's what he thinks it is. It seems to have some sort of cloth roof, almost similar to the Oregon Trail, I guess you can say. Looking around him, he would see dead corpses of a woman and a man. Izuku would try to get out, as he would say, "Where am I?" He would think in his mind, as he would start to look at his hands and realize that he's a baby. Izuku would start looking around as he would say, "Where am I? And why am I a baby? And wait a minute. Don't tell me that I'm reincarnated or something." Ah, crap, he would think in his mind, as Izuku would realize that he's reincarnated. He knows about this type of thing, especially back when he was still, a villain. You remember watching these isekai type animes. And Izuku would basically start to pout a little bit, thinking in his mind, maybe some sort of god would tell me about this or something. Maybe at least, a guide. After saying this, Izuku would start to hear noises. Hey, we think we found him." One of the people there would say, "Yeah, it seems so." But when Izuku would look over, I guess you can say curtains would basically, open, seeing two different people. It seems to be raining outside. As this person seems to be a man in his about late 40s. And he seems to be wearing some sort of suspenders and, well, basically similar to, just imagine a treasure hoarder. Yeah, Izuku's going to be adopted by the treasure hoarders. Why the hell not? So, after one of them looks at the child, they would say, "Boss, I think we found him. When this person by the name of Boss would look over and see the dead bodies of the man and the woman, he would say, "Oh no." As he would look over at Izuku, as he would say, "Oh, thank God. At least the child is okay." He would grab the child as he would say this, Don't worry. I'm here. He would basically start to comfort the child as the two people there, or more specifically, two more people there, would basically, grab the dead bodies of the mother and father, as Izuku would look up at him, as he would say, "So, I'm guessing I'm going to be adopted or something?" He would think in his mind, as he would say, or at least the man would say, Shh, don't worry, I'm here now. I promise I will protect you, just like a father would be." As he would start cuddling the child, as Izuku would start to laugh a little bit, because of the sensation, that's basically, the sensation of the man's, cheek onto his, on his other cheek, basically like their teeth, like her, you basically get it. Their cheeks are basically touching. So after the man caresses the boy, he would say, "All right, guys, let's go." So, as everybody would start to leave the carriage, they would start to leave, going towards a different part of this brand new world that he's currently living in. So, they're currently at a large looking cavern. More specifically, a cavern of basically a cavern cave. So, this cave cavern or whatever seems to be quite big and is filled with so many people. While he's basically looking around, still as a baby, he would look and see several people basically grabbing different types of treasure, mostly gold, or at least that, or at least that, or at least he thinks it's gold, and it's obviously not gold. It's more like well, Mora, obviously. So, as he's basically looking around, seeing several people basically grabbing chests and also grabbing some loot, the man would basically set him down on a little bed, as he would say this. "Don't worry, I'll give you a new name." As he would basically start to think, as he would say, "Well, it makes sense after all. His parents are from Inazuma, so..." As he would start to think of an Inazuma name, or whatever. But one of his subordinates would say, "Hey boss, we found, As he would basically look at the child, as he would say, "Wait, don't tell me that..." As he would say this, "Yeah, that's your sister's child." As he would say this, "Cool, but where's my sister?" The man would look down, saddened, as Izuku would also, recognize that look, as he would say this, specifically the man. "Your sister, she died." After hearing this, he would start to cry. He would say, "How did she died?" As the man would say this, "Some sort of thing. It's probably some sort of hilichurl or something." Izuku, after hearing this, he would say, "Hiller what?" He would think in his mind, as he would say this, "Oh, please tell me it's a joke. Please." As he would say this, "Sorry, it's not a joke." As he would start to cry even more, as he would say this, "No, no." He would start to cry even more, as he would say this, "Don't worry. Thankfully, their child is okay." So, as he would say this, "Oh, I guess so." He would basically look back at the child, as he would say this, "How about we call him Mizuku? After all, his hair is kind of green, just like hers." As he would say this, "Good choice. Now, let's hurry up. He really needs to go to bed." So, after saying this, they would basically get out of the room and they would basically fall asleep. So, let's go back to Izuku. Izuku is currently confused right now, thinking in his mind, "Wait, Inazuma? What the heck is this world?" He would already know that this world is definitely not Earth, but Inazuma? It sounds like a Japanese name, so he would think that it's probably some sort of Japanese-based region or something, or at least something similar to Japan. So, after hearing about this, he would decide to just get some sleep. A few years have gone by, as he's now about, 5. So, because now he's 5, he would basically start exploring the entire island of where he's currently living in. Apparently, this island is actually nearby to another, place, or should I say nation. In this case, the nation of... wait for a second. The nation of Mondstadt. But currently, he's still living in an island where it's just near that place. So, Izuku has been learning how to fight, and apparently the name of this group, or at least the group that adopted him, were the Treasure Hoarders. And he even learned how to steal and also take from prying eyes. Make him quite a great person at stealing. And it's not only that, because of his, original training back in Earth, or more specifically back in his own world, thanks to the help of All For One basically training him on how to steal and also, kill, well, it makes sense that he's pretty much overpowered as well. But because he doesn't have All For One, well, he doesn't really know how to do it all that much. he also learned about some things about this world, including about the visions and the vision holders. Apparently, there's these things, those visions, which he thought were, probably just quirks, but apparently they're mostly elemental based. And these elements were cryo. Wait for a second. Cryo, animo, electro, geo. Then there's dendro, I think. Yeah, dendro. Um, pyro, and I think hydro. Yeah. So, after learning about these elements, he would think in his mind, so, for me to have a vision, how do I actually get one? He would start to think in his mind, but either way, he would basically start becoming a pretty well-known, treasure hoarder. And because of that, he's been getting a lot of unwanted attention. Mostly from, some people that want to bring the treasure hoarders to justice. But, unfortunately, he's too sneaky to basically be, captured. So, a few years have gone by as Izuku has been, going around town and basically stealing from, many unprying people. And so, after a while, he would basically start to think, maybe I should try and steal from somewhere else. After all, this place is starting to become, a little bit boring. And so he would decide to go to a little city known as Mondstadt, which is the city of the animal god, which he heard about. Apparently, there's these gods that represent each of the four elements. And not four elements, I meant the seven elements. And apparently, this god was named Barbatos, or Barbados. So, after deciding to go there by, stealing one of their boats and basically going there by himself, he would arrive there at the dawn of dusk. Not the dawn of, dusk, I meant the dawn of dawn. Or, basically, dawn. Like, in the morning. So, after he arrived there, he would see that it's a bustling city filled with so many people basically having fun. After a while of looking around, he would see a few people, or more specifically, two girls that are currently being harassed by two different people. Two of them boys. One of them would say, "Hey, get out of our way." As one of them would say this, "Yeah, get out of our way, god dang it." As the girl would say, "Stop hurting her. I mean, she's just doing her best." As she would say, "Amber, please help me." As this girl seems to be a part of the church, or at least, the Church of Barbados, he would basically look over there and see them basically in trouble. Yuzuka would think, yeah, I mean, why not? After all, I am reincarnated here, so why not do some good? So, Izuku would basically jump out of nowhere and basically said, "Hey, stop doing that!" As one of them would say, "You're defending one of those girls? Duh, you're annoying." As he would start to push him, as Izuku would basically stand his ground. He sort of remembers some of his, training from All For One, and some about, self-defense, and would start using that self-defense tactics on those, two boys. He would basically start fighting them as one of the boys would get punched in the nose. As he would say, "Ow, what was that for?" As Izuku would say this, "Had enough?" As Izuku would charge in, basically, charging in almost like Rambo style, and basically, kick him right in the nuts. One of them would basically grab a little, rock and gets ready to stab him. But Izuku would basically dodge out of the way and basically, does a hard left hook onto his face. After doing that, they would basically start to leave, saying, "We'll get you for that." And one of them would say, "Yeah, we promised that." And so they would basically start to run away and leaving the girls alone. As he would say this, "So, are both of you okay?" Izuku would look over and see a girl with, wait for a second, the girl that seems to be about 2 years older than him. She seems to be wearing some sort of red bow, and this bow almost resembles bunny ears. This girl also seems to be, quite beautiful in his eyes. The other seems to be a girl with blondish hair with pigtails. She seems to be quite shy and seems to be a part of the church. As he would say this, "Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. The name's Izuku Midoriya." As one of them would say this, "Oh, the name's Amber. And thank you for saving us." as the girl with the, pigtails would say this. Hi, my name's Barbara. As Izuku would say this. Anyway, those guys were jerks. As one of them would say this, specifically, Amber. Yeah, you're right, but still. Thanks for saving us. As Izuku would say this. Yeah, anyway, I should probably be leaving. And so, Izuku would start to leave. After leaving, one of the girls, specifically the girl by the name of, Barbara would say this. My hero. She would basically say that under her breath, as Amber would say this. Oh, I didn't know that you have a crush. As she would say this. No, I mean, he's nice, but, she would start to blush even more as she would say this. I think it's better for you to go back to the church right now. As she would say this. Oh yeah, I forgot. As she would start to leave, going out of her way to, go back to the church, as fast as she can. As Amber would laugh as she would start to leave. So yeah. So we go back to Izuku, basically getting back to his, home in the islands, and let's just say his, surrogate parents are kind of mad. They would say, so you basically let yourself to get, noticed by some people, and you basically saved some girls. As one of them would say this, hey, come on. Besides, he might have, might have made some girls turn their heads and maybe just think he's cute. As Izuku would get pinched in the cheeks, as he would say this, stop that. As he would say this, anyway, kiddo, you should probably get some sleep. After all, you're probably pretty tired after that little trip of yours. As Izuku would say this, yeah, he would start to yawn as he would say this. Anyway, get some sleep now, kiddo. You deserve it. He would basically smile. After doing what he says, he would basically go onto his bed and would fall asleep. So yeah, I'm going to be ending this episode off right here. Because, early tomorrow I'm going to go to school, things of that sort. So yeah. But before you leave, guys, I'm going to be making, some polls for the ships for, not really ships, more like the harem. Because, I'm going to be picking 2 girls that are going to be in his harem from each nation. Including, excluding, Lumine. Because Lumine is going to be a part of the harem, super obviously. So, I want all of you guys to pick 2 girls that are going to be in Izuku's harem, and it's going to be for Mondstadt's girls. So yeah, I'm going to be picking, 4 girls, and you're going to be picking them. Okay, good. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!